UFC 314 is this weekend. We are getting ready to see the greatest comeback in combat sports history. But before we get into that, we're going to break down the prelims up until the main card. We're going to shoot 100% from the field because BunkyMMA has never, and I mean ever, incorrectly predicted a MMA fight. With that being said, thank God they changed this poster, because how they did my brother Diego Lopes initially, that is disrespectful. Like I said, we are starting at the prelims and we are going up until the main card. Opening up UFC 314's prelims, we have Darren Elkins, The Damage, versus Julian Erosa, Juicy J. I want to go on the record saying this. Darren Elkins has probably the worst tattoos I have ever seen in my whole entire life. What the fuck is that? What? I get that's his name. What is this font? What are we looking at here? Purely because of this, we don't need to get technical with it. Tattoos are bad enough. Give me Julian Erosa by third round finish. It is going to go until the third round. Julian Erosa is going to get him out of there by finish purely because this what the fuck is that? On a real technical note, they are both coming off of a win. My man, Juicy J, I hear he's walking out to thinking with my dick. So that's going to be big for him. I have Julian Erosa by submission in the third round. We don't need to we don't need to overthink it. This tattoo is giving The Damage to my eyeballs. Coming up next on the prelims, we have a battle of the eras. We have the Elder, Jim Miller versus Chase Nurmagomedov. This is like LeBron James finally getting the matchup against Michael Jordan, except in this case, Chase Hooper is both LeBron James and Michael Jordan. I have Chase Hooper by finish, early submission. As soon as he gets Jim Miller down, it is only a matter of time. Not only is Chase Hooper going to submit Jim Miller, he is going to do it with a triangle choke. It is going to be electric. It is going to be ecstatic. And Chase Hooper is going to continue to build his GOAT resume. We are kicking off the UFC 314 prelims with two back-to-back submission victories. Next on the UFC 314 prelims, we are getting an absolute banger. Are we getting a banger because of the matchup? Kind of. But really, we're getting a banger because the MMA gods are real. What do I mean by that? Every single time we have a UFC pay-per-view, for some odd reason on the prelims, there's some women's fight that is just a fight of the year contender. Naturally, we have to get that here. We have Xiaonan taking on Raul Rojas Jr. A lot of people are immediately going to think back to the Zhang Weili fight where Yan got TKO'd, submitted, and finished by decision all within the same fight. Don't let that mess up your mind. It is going to be Yan by decision. I actually think Virna is going to be favored here just by the slightest. So we're taking the dog in Yan. She's going to get it done. 29-28 decision victory. But that's not to disrespect Virna. She's got great boxing. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be absolute cinema. But I am going to take Yan by decision because I believe in her. Moving up, we have another featherweight banger. Fan favorite, short notice king, Dan Ige taking on Sean Woodson. How are you 6'2" in a featherweight? Have you ever heard of a Caniac combo, no slaw, extra toast? 1,800 calories right there. Get on it, Sean Woodson. With that being said, I think we have another banger on the UFC 314 prelims. I think what is going to happen is Dan Ige is going to rock Sean Woodson early. Dan Ige is the master of throwing punches that don't look like they have a lot of power, that have power, and then his punches that look like they should have a lot of power end up landing like a glorified pillow fight. Sean Woodson, I think, however, has too much reach. He's going to be a hard puzzle for Dan Ige to solve. I think Dan Ige is going to rock him early, get a little too excited. Sean Woodson is going to pick him apart for the remainder of the 2 rounds. Dan Ige is going to win round 1, and then Sean Woodson is going to pitch a shutout. I have Sean Woodson taking down fan favorite Dan Ige by decision. It is going to be hopefully cinema, but in reality, I think we're going to have a teep jab fest similar to Sean decision Strickland. We're going to get those vibes in this fight. Going to be a little snooze fest, but there will be some life at the beginning when Dan Ige rocks Sean Woodson. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the main event. Oh, fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the main card. This is what we have all been waiting for. I know we got through those prelims rather quickly, but that's because we don't overthink it. We are going to smack every single one of these picks very similarly to how Dominick Reyes smacked John Jones. Very similarly to how John Jones smacked his wife. I think Dominick Reyes is the dog in this matchup, so naturally, we're going to take him. Dominick Reyes is going to kick off the main card of UFC 314 with a decision win over Nikita Krylov. That is no disrespect to Nikita Krylov, but Dominick Reyes beat the GOAT, so through the transitive property, he is the GOAT. And he needs to fight Tom Aspinall ASAP and quit ducking him. People talk about how John Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. Wrong. Dominick Reyes is ducking Tom Aspinall. This matchup is awesome. Former UFC interim champion Yair Rodriguez takes on Bellator double champ Patricio Pitbull in a awesome striking matchup. However, the UFC, they just do stuff differently up here. I think Yair Rodriguez is going to be a horrific puzzle for Patricio Pitbull to try to solve. I think Yair Rodriguez is going to TKO Patricio Pitbull on his UFC debut. The caliber of fighters from UFC to Bellator, I just think the gap is too wide. Do I think this is a fraud check? No, I just think Yair Rodriguez is too complicated of a puzzle for Patricio to solve. Dana is feeding him to the wolves come debut time. I think it is going to be a banger. I think it is going to be an absolute barn burner. I think Yair Rodriguez is going to TKO Patricio Pitbull in round 3. I wouldn't be surprised if Yair Rodriguez may be down 2-0 in round 3. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it may be 1-1 going into the third. I hear Yair Rodriguez catching Patricio Pitbull with a nasty kick, something ridiculous, something that doesn't even have a name yet. He's going to stun him. He's going to get him to the ground. He is going to ground and pound Patricio Pitbull. It is going to be Yair Rodriguez by TKO. I think that is just to showcase the levels that the UFC has in terms of fighters. I think it's going to be a close one, but I have to go with Yair Rodriguez. This shit right here makes me emotional. This is why we watch the sport. Matchups like this. Bryce Adolf Mitchell versus Mr. Roof Silva. This right here, this is my main event. I recently learned that Bryce Mitchell turned to the Lord because he dated a goth woman in Arkansas. That shit is awesome. I think Silva is going to absolutely beat the fuck out of him, but I hope Bryce Mitchell wins because that post-fight interview is going to be generational. I wouldn't be surprised if Dana White has to go in there himself and rip the microphone out of Bryce Mitchell's hands. No matter what happens here, the fans win. With that being said, my official prediction is going to be the fighting nerd Silva by dog bite. Do I know what that means yet? No, but we will see come Saturday what I mean by that, and it'll all make sense. He's going to sit there and cry while Bruce Buffer introduces the two of them. He's going to baptize Bryce Mitchell, no pun intended. This is going to be a banger. This is going to be why I'm tuning in for the pay-per-view. This is why we watch the sport. Give me Silva here. By dog bite. I don't know what that means yet. Give me Silva by dog bite. This matchup right here, I'm not going to say I'm confused, but I really have no idea how this one is about to go. The only guarantee I think I have, win or lose, Michael Chandler's going to get on that mic. Conor McGregor! That's all I know that's happening. Here is what I think is going to happen. I think Michael Chandler is going to look like the GOAT in round 1. He is going to be piecing up Paddy Pimblett, and as soon as he starts winning the fight, he doesn't care anymore, and he is going to throw the next rounds to Paddy Pimblett. He's going to do some crazy backflip, handstand, cartwheel. Paddy Pimblett is going to grab his ankle lock him, and submit him. A lot of people are forgetting the fact that Meatball, I'm a Can, Molly just retired. Paddy Pimblett is fighting for the twos of them now, and it is going to be an absolute banger. I think Michael Chandler is going to drop Paddy Pimblett twice. He should win the fight, maybe even gets a 10-8 round on him. However, Paddy Pimblett made easy work of Bobby Green, submitted him within 2. I think Paddy Pimblett has what it takes to submit Michael Chandler. But Michael Chandler is going to be winning the fight early. Paddy Pimblett is going to use his braids. I've never seen Paddy Pimblett lose with his braids, and he is going to get Michael Chandler out of there. They're going to interview Michael Chandler. Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, one of you has to fight somebody on your comeback fight. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a banger. This is the main event of the evening. Alexander Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopes for the featherweight championship. Alexander Volkanovski is obviously coming off of some crazy propaganda. I'm seeing all these AI videos of him getting knocked out by Islam Makhachev and then getting knocked out by Ilia Topuria. It is crazy what people can do today with a computer. With that being said, Diego Lopes throws nukes. I am very, very concerned. I am very, very scared. I am very, very terrified. When the main event begins, I'm going to be pacing around my room like a little bitch because with every fiber of my being, I want Alexander Volkanovski to get that belt back. However, I am not counting out Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes is active. He is awesome. He doesn't really care that much about the money. He cares about getting knockout wins. He cares about finishing fights. Alexander Volkanovski, according to these AI videos, he's getting up there in age. He's 35, about to turn 36, or is he 36? I don't know how old he is, but I know he's getting up there in age, and it makes me terrified. It makes me petrified, honestly. I can't pick against him, though. I'm going to take Alexander Volkanovski by decision. Hopefully, we get some Volkanovski Holloway 3 vibes, 50-45s, Diego Lopes. No one has to get finished here. Both fighters win. Maybe we get Volkanovski 3-2 on Diego Lopes. If I had to put money down, I'm going to take Volk by decision. This is heartbreaking. This is like me picking between 2 of my kids. I'm not allowed to have favorite kids, but I have a favorite kid, if you know what I'm saying. I am going to roll with Volkanovski here because that's what my heart wants. That's what my heart wants, man. That concludes the Bunky MMA UFC 314 breakdown.
I have an unhealthy obsession with spending money, but I have a healthy obsession with making it.
You know what that means. We have an unhealthy obsession with making money over here on the Bunky MMA YouTube channel. It is time for the Bunky Bet. This is where I give you a sure lock parlay that you can smack on this UFC 314 card and come back to me and let me know how much money you've made. I don't condone betting. I don't condone gambling. If you lose your money, I'm not liable. Why are you listening to a guy on the internet on what to do with your money? With that being said, here is this UFC card's Bunky Bet. Bang! There it is, an easy plus 415 ticket for you to make the easiest $415 of your life. I am taking the Yair Rodriguez money line, the Paddy Pimblett money line, the Alexander Volkanovski money line, and the Jean Silva money line. Give me the Wendy's 4 for 4. I'm getting the nuggets. I'm getting the bacon double stack. I'm getting the fries. And fuck it, I'm getting a Frosty. Put 100 on it. Easy 415. Go buy yourself a new pair of Jordans with your winnings and thank me in the comments. I will see you guys after the pay-per-view to matchmake and talk about what we saw and congratulate and celebrate our winnings. Until then, it's been Bunky MMA. Cash in on the Bunky Bet.